There's certain things which are very formulaic Star Trek. What worked for this first Star Trek series? What do you think that the Enterprise adopted from that Star Trek formula? And specifically, obviously, your character, which is very similar to Spock.
Yeah, the idea, well, actually, there's two things, 2 points. The relationships between Spock, Bones, and Kirk was one of, they weren't born together, but they, their relationship sort of formed together. Mm-hmm. There were 3 different people from 3 different places, especially Spock, and they grew to love each other, and they had such a sense of loyalty to each other. That one of my favorite episodes, Amok Time, where Spock goes through Pon farr and he's got to actually duel Kirk for the woman because the woman chooses Kirk to, duel Spock. And Spock thinks that he actually kills Kirk. And he's like, you know what, I don't want this woman. I've killed my captain, what have I done? You know what I mean? But there's this loyalty. And then on the second...
How does that relate to the cast of the Enterprise?
Because it's the same thing. It's Connor, Archer, and myself, or T'Pol. Sorry, I should rephrase that. It's Connor, Scott, and myself, our 3 characters coming together and learning how to work together. And many times it's kind of like the jocks against the chick. And it just seems like that relationship, they're just giving me a hard time, always taking the piss out on me, but we've actually begun to develop quite a relationship, quite a loyalty with each other, and we're always constantly surprising each other, which is I love that about a growing and changing relationship, and them actually becoming to like me and making me feel welcome. Second note, Gene Roddenberry had an original concept for the original Star Trek, which was I remember when he did his pilot of Star Trek. It was called The Cage. It was done in black and white, and then the studios made him redo it, so it's half black and white, half color. But he did this interview talking about The Cage and about his concept of launching Star Trek. And it wasn't about, because it was in the midst of like westerns, the good guy versus bad guy, and good overcomes evil. But his concept was about making it more about relationships rather than just the journey and the adventure. So he took a multiracial cast, because just like on the dollar bill, it's united we stand, divided we fall. So he wanted to do away with the whole racial boundaries. It's the world together, coming together, and what can we accomplish together, and what can we learn from each other, and our different backgrounds and our different cultures, and set out on a mission, set out into the middle of literally nowhere. What can we learn, and what can we discover from species outside of ourselves? And it makes us feel very big individually, and it makes us very small in the whole span of things.
Wow, so. You know a lot. Holy smokes. Okay. Now, what do you think about the Enterprise? How is it reinventing it? What does it bring that we're not used to seeing on Star Trek? Humor or, a dog? What is it?
Sex.
Lots of sex.
No, it's like Archer waking up in his quarters, he's got no shirt on, or the decontamination chamber. There's body parts and body touching, and actually today we're doing a scene where Linda and I and Dominic are all in our underwear because we're coming back from this mission. And it's a decontamination chamber again, just without the rubbing. There's a lot. It's so much more contemporary. It's going for a much wider audience. I mean, let alone the cult following, which are the Trekkies, which I'm right there. But say you're just like me and you grew up on the original Star Trek or whatever time in your life, and you got lost along the way. Now you can pick up with this without missing a beat, because it's the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it's actually very wise of the writers to turn it around like that.
And tell me a little bit about the process of what makeup you wear and what they put on you to transform you.
Yeah.
They really don't look like your character right now.
Nothing at all. Which works really well, because when I take on that alien form, I've got the ears, the wig, the makeup, the uniform. I'm actually hard-pressed to find myself in the mirror. I'm going, okay, where are you? But it works for the character, because it's for character work, you embody. Once I'm in the full garb, I am T'Pol, and that's actually, I'm really fortunate to have that. It takes about a little under 2 hours to get in full wardrobe. They do the standard issue Vulcan wig, and they tattoo the eyebrows to give me bigger eyebrows, and then we've got the uniform and of course the ears. So 2 hours. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
And do you have a favorite part of the bridge? Is such an icon of the Star Trek series. Is there a part of it that how did you feel when you first walked on it? Or
actually, you know what? When I first got this job, when I was first casted for this job, my agent called me over to meet me at a cafe. And I walk into this cafe and I see the head agent sitting at the table and going, okay, what's this all about? I'm either in big trouble or is there some good news? So anyway, I walk up and they just smile, and I started jumping up and down in this cafe. And that was pretty cool. But I was still waiting for the phone call to come if we found the right chick. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because you work so hard, you know, every day to finally get a break and finally get a job, you know? You get the job and you still don't believe you got it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So not until I walked on set for the first day in full uniform, full wardrobe, I looked at that stage and I said, damn straight, it's mine. And I owned it from that moment forward. So I've got a very special moment with the bridge right there. And then as far as shooting, my favorite place is the captain's ready room. Because it's small and everybody hits their heads on the beams, but it's kind of fun to go laugh at them when they hit their head.
That's great.